to Nigeria Today, the journalist rendezvous on trending issues here on Living Televisions. Of course, today, like we always do, we start with most the newspaper headlines from some of our national dailies. And today we have some stories from Vanguard, we have The Sun, we have Punch, we have also from the Nigeria Tribune. First, let's start from the Vanguard newspaper. A story emanating from Vanguard says Abia 2023, Alex Oti declares for governorship. For governor, ASU strike, FG should respect collective bargaining agreement. That's according to Nigerian Labour Congress. New remuneration for teachers to wait till 2023. Vanguard findings. 2023, prepare to hand over to Jonathan. Ex-warlord tells Buhari. Nigeria, Mauritius retains seats in UN Rights Committee. Now we'll go to the Sun newspaper, which we have the story that says police arrest suspected kidnapper in Ile-Ife, that's in Ogun State. In daring move, FCT officials shot government offices over 10 billion naira debts. Presidential pardon disband EFCC, ICPC instead of embarrassing them. That's according to Governor Wike of Rivers State. Now to Punch newspapers. Electoral violence, 1,149 Nigerians killed. INEC suffers 42 attacks, decries rising insecurity. And then Chrisland, police begins probe as school. Parents disagree over alleged rape. Remove your cassock, join politics. President replies, Kuka. Ex-minister Solomon Dalong, dumps APC, gives reasons. Then to Nigeria Tribune, which is our final paper for the day, we have Dubai set step. Lagos government shuts Chrisland schools. Afe Babalola to federal government suspend 2023 elections, install interim government. World Bank alerts on danger of rising debts, inflation. Now finally, Lagos bans military checkpoints in Apapa at laws 9 illegal checkpoints. These are some of the stories we select from some of our national dailies this morning on Nigeria Today here on Living Television. Of course, my name is Wagiri Chukujike. I am not alone. I have my colleague in the building with me who will help me go through some of the stories we will discuss in this particular segment, which is this one segment. I have Chimize Ozemsi. Welcome to the program.
Thank you and welcome to the program too.
Well, today we not only have our trial, today we are only but two. I think it's going to be a lovely one having to discuss with you alone on this particular program today. And we're going to start, you're a father, I want us to start from the program that they manage from Lagos, which is about the Chrisland School. The 71 students were taken to Dubai for a sports competition which they represent Nigeria.
And that was in March.
Yes, that was in March. It ended on 14th of March.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, this particular story, as according to the papers, the boys were lodged at the 4th floor, while the girls were lodged at the 11th floor of the building in Dubai. But somehow, according to the story, these people, the young people, when I think their guardians would have gone to sleep, okay, they came down to play truth and dare, according to what the story says. Along the line, we saw what transpired. I mean, where are we going to lay this blame? Are we laying this blame on poor parenting? Are we going to lay this blame on the school for lack of proper care for the children they took from Nigeria down to United Arab Emirates? Where do you think this blame lies? How can we correct this anomaly? Because this child in question is just 10 years old child that is just in primary 6. I mean, I'm looking at myself in primary school. I don't know if you think I was thinking in that direction. And if you can watch this video critically, you agree with me that that girl was not acting like a 10-year-old child. So something must have gone wrong somewhere. And that's why I wanted to come in.
Yes, first of all, I don't want to see the video because it's an eyesore. And that shows the level of decay we have in society today. And it's a systemic failure. It starts from the top to the bottom. It shows that the parents, the schools, they failed in their responsibility. Starting from the family, which is where you have the parents, is the first agent of socialization. That is where a child is trained. That is where the foundation is laid for every child. But today, because of the quest for material acquisition, because of the level of poverty in Nigeria, parents leave in the morning and come back very late in the night. And that means that they don't spend quality time with their children, telling them certain things about life. And so, when kids are alone, they learn so many things. without the supervision of an adult. When they are alone in the house, they can learn so many things, especially through the mass media, because of the TV we have today. So the parents failed, and the school authorities also failed. Yes, when you take those minors to Dubai for a competition, you have to guide them very, very well. It's like yes, there must be 24/7 supervision as far as they're concerned. But you cannot tell me that such a thing happened, and it came out in April. You can imagine. So there was an effort by the school to conceal what happened in Dubai.
According to a video released by the
yes,
mother.
Yes, there was effort by the school to conceal what happened in Dubai, but somehow, somewhere, we saw it in social media. It shows that we are sitting on the cake of gunpowder. If nothing is done, I want to tell you that we may see more horrible things than what happened in Dubai.
Well, I think that if you have the opportunity to watch that video, you say it's a nice also. I don't want you to watch it, but I've watched it, okay, so that I'll be able to analyze properly.
Yes.
Now, this child, I think most of the things she did there are things she saw on the internet.
Yes.
Now, you see, I'm an advocate of the old ways, the ancient road. The way our parents treated us that made us, think these things are wrong are no longer trending.
No.
Somebody is a child that is 10 years in primary 6. If you see what that girl was doing, you will agree with me that she has seen where it is done and done by experts. Okay, that goes a long way to
very sad.
When you give your child phone, how much time do you dedicate to check what she watches in her phone? If you have to give your child a phone, educate yourself. Sometimes you check her browsing history, check the things she browses to understand where she's getting what she's searching for on the internet. You don't just give your child a phone and let her let loose. She does whatever she wants with the phone. And then again, on the part of the school, this thing happened, and then it took you like 3 weeks for it to come to the public domain. If not, an anonymous person posted it on Twitter, we wouldn't have known what was happening. Concealing evil is making evil multiply.
Yes.
That's the problem we have. So I think if our parents, if you want to flaunt your money on your kids, telling them how to use phone, please know how to monitor the phones. And again, the mother, you cannot tell me that this has been on the internet for 3 weeks. You don't have an idea of such. That means you give your child a phone and you don't use the phone. We need to keep in touch with what's happening with our kids. Know what they do, where they go, and who they interact with. These things are important. Our parents should at least try as much as possible. And again, along the line, the Lagos State government has banned every Chrisland school in Lagos State. One thing I want to tell people is it is very wrong. Our law outlaws, playing or even distributing or posting child porn. If we have conscience, when I watched that, I was like, is it a human being? Because all these things emanated from one person. Is it a human being that actually posted this kind of thing? It is horrible. It is something that we need to abhor with every adrenaline in our body. It is entirely wrong. And I think people need to stay clear from all those kind of things. Please, if you must treat your child, if you must send your child to school, and again, look, I attended a public primary school. I also attended a public secondary school. I attended a public university.
We are products of our public schools.
What I say, my dad will call Sadiq. Is my son in school? If you look at me, I have a broken tooth. Why I got this broken tooth? I was going to school. I left my house early in the morning, not knowing that my dad monitored when I went to check on a friend who has not finished. So I was going, my father was driving behind me. When I saw his car, he took the other way and was coming in front of me. So when I saw him coming, I wanted to jump onto a tipper that was driving along. The man applied the brake and I hit my mouth on the dashboard. That was how I saw. My father was monitoring my movement. There is no way you have a child from the day you give birth to a child. The child is in the cradle. You've sent the person to school. The next thing you send to nursery school. Yes. The next thing you send to boarding school. You don't even train your own child. This is it's appalling. We need to come back to the old ways. We are Africans, for God's sake, and we need to act African. All these adoptions from the Western world, they're not helping us.
Yes, and just like you said about our culture and tradition, before the advent of the white man, we had a very good tradition. And
very awesome tradition.
And up to today, those traditions have been considered to be healthy. But also, I will also advise parents on the type of schools they send their children to. I know that it's the ambition of every parent to send his or her child to the best schools in the world. But I want to tell you that I have been keeping a tab on all these five-star hotels that operate under the guise of schools. I have not seen any of them winning any competition. It's those schools we consider as those in the backyard that are winning competitions, winning essay competitions, winning sports competitions. Those schools that are in the backyard, these are the schools that are doing very well.
Most of these schools are just a breeding ground for bullies.
Yes, these are five-star hotels. I call them five-star hotels under the guise of schools. Parents pay huge tuition, and yet the result is not there.
You get homosexuals, you get lesbians from this particular. Anyway, let's come back to Abia State, where Dr. Alex Oti has declared for the governorship race in Abia State, and of course he declared under the All Progressive Congress (APC). Now, my problem is with APC in Abia State is that APC in Abia State has two factions which are still struggling to, who holds the power in Abia State. The Iketemenike faction, which is currently under the chairmanship of Dr. Ononobu from Mba in the local government area, are the one holding sway now because they're the one that Abuja recognizes. But however, I want to look at Alex Oti's movement from the 2015 down to this date. Do you think Alex Oti stands a chance in this particular declaration this time around?
Yes, I think he stands a chance.
In APC?
Yes, in APC, when you look at his pedigree. In 2015 elections, he tried, although he did not succeed. But I want to tell you that Alex Oti, this may be his last chance to take a shot.
So either he wins or he gets out.
Yes, at the highest political office we have in Abia State. And I want to say that APC is the main opposition party we have in Abia State, but they are not doing very well. A house that is divided cannot win an election. A party that is divided cannot win an election any day. So, APC, there is a very big crack in that very party. And also, in Abia State, in fact, in the entire Southeast, we see APC as a northern party because of the unimpressive performance of the federal government. When you look at what is happening in Nigeria today, I want to tell you that many people will not vote for APC in 2023 election. But let's see what Alex Oti will do in 2023. By the grace of God or by the grace of Abia people, he may succeed.
But I'm looking at, when it comes to APC, Iketemenike has been the one, financing, carrying, shouldering every expense that has to do with this faction. And of course, I have been with Iketemenike one-on-one. He has, over time, declared his intention to, be the helmsman in Abia State affairs. So I'm thinking, since he's the one in charge, do you think there's any magic Alex Oti would do that will sway Emenike to hand over such tickets to him? Is it possible after spending all this money, all this while, maintaining that particular faction?
It is possible because in Nigerian politics, everything is possible. At the end of the day, I want to tell you that they may come together and agree on a candidate that is very, very popular. I don't think there's any political party that will go to an election with an unpopular candidate. Ikechi Emenike is not all that known in the political field. But I want to tell you that Alex Oti since 2015 has become a household name when you talk about Abia politics.
So this is a man who has single-handedly, twisted the bourgeois in APC in Abia State for him to get the federal norm. Don't you think he has the power to do this?
He has the power, but at the general election, what will be his fate? I want to tell you that at the primaries of APC, if Ikechi Emenike and Oti should contest, I want to tell you that Oti will carry the day.
Well, gentlemen, we will be back in a jiffy. This is how far we've been going at it. Myself and my colleague Ozem Chimeze doing this together today. Don't forget that this particular program is trending live on our YouTube page, and that is Living Television, and of course on our Facebook handle, that's Living Television too. We'll be back in a jiffy. Don't go nowhere because our program continues after now.
Admission is ongoing at Living TV Film Academy, Aba, Abia State, for candidates wishing to study filmmaking and mass communication for skill certificate training and degree programs, including mandatory NYSC post-degree service. Courses offered are Department of Journalism and Media Studies, Broadcast Journalism, TV Presentation, Photojournalism, Department of Film and Multimedia Studies, Cinematography, Acting, Video Editing, Film Production, Website Designing, Modeling and Makeup, Bead Making, Screenwriting, Theatre Arts, Department of Broadcasting, Script Writing, Journalism, Reporting, Software Programming, Mobile and Web App Development, Audio Production, Graphic Designing, Digital Animation, Special Effects, Social Media Management. Entry qualifications. Candidates must possess 5 credits in WASICAM GCE, NAPTEB or equivalents. We have the following technical infrastructure for students' skills acquisition: an art theatre well equipped for modern digital television and radio studios open for hire to the public, an audio suite for music production, soundtracks, sound effects, jingles and voice-over, etc. A 50 feet by 40 feet chroma studio, largest in Africa for special effects, world-class rendering facilities for post-production rendering, animation and cartoon technology, assorted professional cameras, drones, etc. A film village with epic and village houses for theatre arts and epic films making. Our studies are skill-oriented with well-qualified academic and technical teachers. We also admit students on industrial training and internship from other institutions. Professional license will be issued to graduates to practice as professionals by Bollywood, a registered professional organization for filmmakers. Wow, what are you waiting for? Rush now and obtain our admission form with 2,000 naira only at our main campus, number 1 Judges Road, 5th floor, former UBA House by NEPA, Waterside Descent, Aba, Abia State, Nigeria, or visit our website. Radio, livingradio.com.ng. The Academy, www.livingtvfilmacademy.com. Email, livingtvfilmacademy@gmail.com, or call 0805 367 3900 or 0816 641 1400. Signed, Registrar.
Welcome back. This is still Nigeria Today, and myself and Ozems, we are still here to give you an in-depth analysis on some of the stories we highlighted earlier on the program during the newspaper review. And of course, we want to go to one of the stories we talked about earlier, and that's on the electoral violence, where INEC 1,149 Nigerians have been killed according to the paper, and then INEC has suffered 42 attacks, and then they have been saying the insecurity situation is very alarming. Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has lost no fewer than 9,836 smart card readers in over 42 attacks on its officers and staff in 3 years. Then also more than 1,149 persons, including INEC employees and security officers, were killed in the 3 elections held in 2011, 2015, and 2019. Ozems, INEC they are losing their staff. Nigerian security men are being killed, and the elections are coming. Someone just earlier on said that Buhari should call off election and introduce an interim government.
Yes.
Do you think this is a call based on what INEC is suffering? Is that a call in the right direction?
I don't think it's a good development. We are operating a very costly democracy, and it's consuming lives. I don't think it's the best. But when you look at what is happening, it shows that the level of insecurity in Nigeria is increasing with each passing day. And the federal government has not done much to check what is happening. And I've been wondering how 2023 will be. When you look at how many staff INEC has lost, the number of security men that's also been lost, it means that 2023 will be very, very dicey. It's going to be a do or die affair as far as that election is concerned. But I still thank God we have more than 1 year to next year, so the federal government can still do something to ensure that we have a peaceful election that will be that will be okay by the international community and also by Nigerians. We still have so many months ahead of us. At this point we can effect a change that will be positive, so that Nigerians can go out and vote and cast for their vote peacefully for the candidate of their choice. Because when there is a high level of insecurity, I want to tell you that many people will not come out to vote.
You know, I think Nigerians need to understand something. You see, in this country, we keep crying. Those who have been voted for, they keep winning every time. And how do they win? We create the loopholes for them to win. Violence is not going to pay anybody in Nigeria here, because elections are rigged when those who are supposed to vote didn't come out to vote.
Yes.
The electoral register is there. They know the number of voters. They can only manipulate it when there are no persons to vote. Okay? Now, when we create this violence and we are complaining that things are not going well in the country, there is no way you and I will benefit from this violence. So I think all of us, these people are not, they're not from Ireland, they're not from Russia,
they are Nigerians.
They are Nigerians, they are brothers. We need to call them to order. You know, when we celebrate those people who are killing security agents, later on in life, they will turn to us.
Yes.
Because when the security agents run away from the streets, they will meet you in your house. It will even give chances. Let me tell you, most of these people who started these struggles that is, making this violence escalate now, their plans were not like this. But hoodlums have, latched into what they've produced, and that is what we have.
It has been hijacked.
Of course. So I am saying that we cannot have a good election if, like the INEC recent electoral commissioner in Akwa State, the man said there is no way we have an election in a place that is volatile, and that does not mean that the election will not hold. So politicians can instigate violence. We must resist them. Because when they look at areas they don't have, good, maybe public, their popularity there is very low, they instigate violence. So that election in that place can be cancelled. Then they use where they are popular to win. The game continues to roll itself over. So our people need to turn back and understand that these people are playing a game on us. They give you guns to go on elections for them. Our youths, I don't know their problem.
It's not it's not a question of we don't know the problem. The problem is a high level of unemployment. Now, when you look at the politicians, their children, they are overseas studying. Where the academic environment
can the government employ?
It's very conducive. But down here, our sons and daughters are at home because of ASU strike. There are no jobs, so they must survive. And the politicians are taking advantage of the situation in Nigeria to perpetrate it.
Let us speak to our conscience. Let's speak to our conscience. You can't give me a gun now. I won't go. I don't have that, flamboyant job. But I'm not going to do that for you, no matter how much you're going to pay me to do it. Let's speak to our conscience. Understand that I am going to have a child tomorrow, right? If I don't lay a good bed for that child, you wouldn't have where to start from.
But there are others who are willing to do so. There are others. There are millions of Nigerian youths who are willing to carry the gun so that they can have food on the table. That's the problem.
Even at that, most times we talk about government not giving jobs. Government cannot give everybody a job. We can get skilled. There's a wrong notion where people have when they go to school. You go to school, you think that when you graduate, you get a job.
You must learn a skill.
There has to be a skill. Learn a skill. Get yourself, busy. If you are busy, I don't think I want to be somebody tomorrow. I want to be one of the rulers tomorrow. So I cannot stampede on the road. It is wrong. So our youth, that's concept of saying unemployment is the problem. I think if they can't give us a let's create one for us and get busy. That's very, very important for me. And again, let's move to our final story for the day, and that is about what Lagos State government did, which I'm personally happy about. They banned some illegal military checkpoint. If you move from Aba to Umuahia in Abia State here, I don't know how they devised this means of giving some boys. They will give them either walnuts or water. They will carry it. Once the vehicle is approaching, they'll flag it down. You give 100 naira. That is if we have. It's not just once. As you are going, once you pass, and it's not just one. From about to a driver might spend 500 naira on one lane, returning the same thing. What Lagos government did to ban, if they can actually effect it, that's just my problem. Because most of these military apparatus, they are all on the federal government's handle. That means they don't have much powers over them. And because of the insecurity situation in the country, that's why the military has left safeguarding the territorial integrity.
Yes.
Now to policing, because what we have now is military police. A military man is not supposed to be seen on the road when there is no war. It hasn't gone beyond what police can do if they are up and doing. So I am thinking what Lagos government did to me is good, and I think Abia State government needs to take a cue from that particular thing. What is happening on our road, I don't appreciate it. I don't know about you.
I don't think it's peculiar to Abia State. If you go around the southeast zone, you will see what is happening. Every kilometer or every 2 kilometers, you see a military checkpoint or a police checkpoint. And these checkpoints, they have become centers of corruption. If I tell you the amount of money that's exchanged hands,
they are making
in
good money
each of these centers, you will marvel. And the tragedy of the situation is that beside every checkpoint, you will see, especially those of the military, you will see it is strong for motorists to give money to soldiers. And yet, with all those signposts, you will see soldiers collecting money from motorists. It's everywhere. Go to Emelioku Road and see what is happening. It's an open secret. Motorists are parting with good sums of money. And it's not only, like I said, it's not only Abia State. If all the governors in the southeast can come together and say, look, there is no Boko Haram in the southeast, although we still have some pockets of violence in the southeast.
You think there is no Boko Haram in the southeast?
What is happening? But they can come together and say, reduce the number of checkpoints we have in our region. If they can emulate that of the Lagos state government, I want to tell you that it will be very, very good. But I have been wondering whether they have the nerve to do so.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with the checkpoints if they are there to do their duty. My problem is, how can you be on a checkpoint? What are you taking? What is armed robbery? Armed robbery is when you are getting something from somebody and the person gives you out of fear. Ordinarily, I can't give a military man anything apart from the gun he's holding. So invariably, we need to be careful. And again, for you to tell me you are in the office, you are the commander, the GOC, or you are the DPO, you are anything that you're in charge, and you're claiming to be, ignorant of what is going on, then you are failing your line of duty.
They are fully aware of what is happening. They are fully aware. Those in the offices, they are aware of what is happening.
My God, Nigerians, we need to help ourselves. We need to put things right for us to move forward. We keep on complaining about the politicians, how corrupt they are, but in our own respective line of duty, how corrupt free are we? That's part of the problem. It pains me that every day in Nigeria we give out news that doesn't cheer the heart, and that has to change. We must make Nigeria a better place. Even when we're agitating for our own nation, let's do it in the right way. Everything will come to its place, God willing. Because in Nigeria we are a religious people, I believe we can do better. That's how far we can go today on this particular program. And on behalf of my colleague, Ozems Chimizi, Ozems, please, can you say something?
My brother, I want to say that let us be careful as far as this year's election is concerned. Election is not a
do-or-die affair.
A do-or-die affair. We can vote peacefully. After all, we are voting for those who will represent us, who will develop our state. So let us vote peacefully. And you don't have to kill in order to go into public office. Public office is a call to service. You don't have to kill. Let us emulate what Jonathan did in 2015. That his ambition is not worth the blood of any Nigerian. Beautiful. If you are a youth, don't go into Togre. I want to tell you that your future is more important than that very election. Thank you for watching.
Thank you very much. Don't be an earrat to someone who is underperforming or is not even performing. It's a beautiful time here on Living Television. Of course, we'll be with you next week on another edition of this particular program. I am Mwagiri Chukujiki, signing out. See you next week.